Hello. After the recent air test of the Hall wind meter, I decided I'd dig out some of my other aircraft instruments that are intended for future projects and test them. These two instruments are standard British Air Ministry. The Airspeed Indicator is the same as fitted to the Magister and the Tiger Moth, and I have one in the Aeronca C3. The altimeter is a Mark 13, non-sensitive altimeter. It's fitted to a lot of late 1930s aircraft. I picked them both up at flea markets years ago, but I don't know whether they work. They're both destined for a Curry-Watt-inspired biplane. These two instruments are much more modern. They're winter instruments, taken from a Pegasus microlight that I cheerfully chopped up some years ago. I kept all the good bits, the engine, propeller, wheels, all manner of fixings, and they're being recycled, all of those parts, into an SSDR machine that I'll reveal in a future video. I hope you'll like it. This altimeter is an ICAN altimeter. They were generally fitted to the navigator stations of Second World War bombers, the heavy bombers such as the Lancaster and the Halifax. I don't know whether it works. I bought it on eBay about 20 years ago and it's been gathering dust on the shelf ever since. This Airspeed indicator is a delight. It came from an early Moth, but this particular one was alleged to be fitted to Jack Parham's Aeronca C2, of course, which I'm slowly reconstructing in the workshop. I'll test it, but I'm not sure I'd ever use it. It weighs a ton, and as Parham says in his book, didn't actually record low enough to give any indication of the stalling speed. Anyway, on to testing. The altimeters I can't really do much with, apart from zero them before a flight, leave them on the aeroplane seat, and then climb to 1,000 feet or so and see if they work. With the airspeed indicators, I can attach a rubber tube to the dynamic port, to the pitot port, and blow down them. I had to blow like hell to get this Moth one to work at all, so I'm not sure it's going to work in flight. The highest reading you'll see on the screen was me absolutely puffing like hell, and I don't live on cigarettes either. I attached the plastic pipe to the other two instruments as well and tried them. Interestingly, both of them took far less effort to move. I sort of try and use this expression calibrated puff, which probably sounds like Graham Norton holding a tape measure. But if I can sort of judge it just by how much energy I expended, then this little instrument and the Air Ministry instrument that comes up next both took about the same amount of effort to move the needle a substantial distance. So I reckon they'll work in flight. By Jove, that's 180 knots. Expect the wings will come off shortly afterwards. The microlight had a rather curious pitot as well. This is it, expertly designed to catch the largest of bumblebees. I think it's more used as a gentleman's emergency smoking apparatus, and I'm not going to use it. It's much easier to make up a pitot head based on the Aeronca style one with a 5/16 tube. So what I did was a length of 5/16 brake pipe here, attached a plastic tube and attached it to the aircraft, and all instruments can use that. what happened to the winter airspeed indicator. Well, I tested it, and at 60 knots it read 70 miles an hour, which was perfect, but I managed to erase the film by mistake. Sorry. So I could refly it, but that wouldn't be very me. Instead I came up with another method of testing it to prove it worked and to explore some error. What I needed was a reasonably fast car, a teenage getaway driver, and off we go. I also rigged up the same pitot head and a very high-tech pylon. Whilst hot-footed Hector tried to maintain a steady 60 miles an hour, he'll have to try faster when we stay away from the cops, I held up the airspeed indicator. It wasn't that easy. I think it was overreading slightly anyway, because we were using a GPS as well, which was only reading about 55 at this point, and I think the air rushing over the top of the car actually affected the pitot head. But it does work, it's fairly accurate, and I'm going to use it in my SSDR microlight in a while. Anyway, it provided some amusement for the afternoon as well. Thanks for watching. See you soon.